Hi, it's Ian here. Welcome to another 5-minute marketing tip. In last week's tip, I talked about breadcrumb content. So in other words, taking a new potential client from where they don't really know you, they've just connected with you, to where they're ready to buy from you by giving content that builds all the know and feel factors that they need to be aware of before they feel comfortable buying. Got a great reception, but one of the questions I always get is, well, how do you produce so much content? You need a lot of content to do that over time. How do you produce content without it taking ages? How do you get it out productively so it doesn't kind of fill your diary? I'll cover that after the break. Hi, welcome back. So how do you produce content productively and efficiently? Well, over the years, I've done a number of blog posts and other things on getting ideas for content, and I'll link to those at the bottom of this video. But here I'm going to talk about some elements of process you can use to get productive at making content. And the first of those is practice. Now, I know you've probably heard the 10,000 hour rule from Anders Ericsson, popularized by Malcolm Gladwell, that it takes 10,000 hours of practice or deliberate practice to become an expert in any given field. And that's what really separates the real high performers from the equally talented, not so high performers. Well, I can tell you that even if you don't do 10,000 hours of practice, practice not only makes you better at something, but it also makes you more productive and more efficient. So I've been doing, 2 or 3 blog posts or emails per week and a video a week for a long time now, a number of years. And it is just so much easier for me to do it so much quicker than it was when I started. When I first started writing, I would agonize for hours over blog posts, not just to come up with the ideas, but even when I had an idea, it would take me ages to get the right words out, to write in a way I felt comfortable with. I kind of stare at a blank piece of paper for ages. These days, I just get down and write. Similarly with a video, I just plonk myself in front of the camera. I thought about what I'm going to talk about for 5 minutes, and then I just switch the camera on and I talk, and it comes out fine. Partly that's, taking away some of the perfectionism, but a lot of it is just to do with that practice. So if you want to get productive at writing, doing podcasts, audios, videos, just do it again and again and it will happen. So that's the first thing, practice. The second thing is planning. So I found when I was just had an objective, a goal of trying to do more content, it didn't happen. Other things would always get in the way. Client meetings would be more important. I'd find other things to do and I'd pack my diary, and then it'd just be too late and I wouldn't be able to produce the content. What I found is that when I schedule, an hour, a couple of hours in my diary every Monday to do my videos, to edit them, to do the email surrounding them and the blog post, to get a transcription done, when I schedule half an hour on a Tuesday and a Wednesday to do the next day's emails, half an hour on a Saturday to do my Sunday emails, they just happen. I just follow the schedule and it all happens. I don't schedule anything else instead. I don't let other commitments take over. I make sure that time happens and it works. So make sure you're doing the planning and you schedule in time to create your content. Now, the final P, and this is going to perhaps sound a little bit, a little bit tough, is prioritization. If you are not producing enough content for your blog, your website, for a podcast, for videos, the chances are it's because you are not prioritizing it enough. So if you're spending time on social media, in groups, answering questions, that could be time you're spending creating content. Now, spending time in social media on groups or chatting with potential clients or going to networking events or browsing the web to get more information, all of that is useful and can help, but I can tell you it's not anywhere near as valuable as creating content that can be reused time and time again, that works for you to attract clients, that builds your reputation and your credibility when you're not there. Content should really be a priority, especially if you're doing online marketing. If you're doing other things instead, you may want to rethink your priorities. If you're not having enough time for content, there must be something you are doing that you're doing instead that you could switch out and create content in. Even, really check your diary. How much time are you spending on Facebook? How much time are you spending watching TV? I'm not saying don't have a social life or fun, but even within your working day, I promise you there will always be time that you could be spending doing content. It doesn't need a lot of time, especially if you do the practice. especially if you plan it in, you can be quite productive, but you must prioritize creating content. So those are my big 3 P's for the process of creating content. As I said, I'll also drop some links down in terms of how to come up with ideas for content, combine those 2 together, and you have got a kind of content engine that will help produce good quality material for you, and that will get your name out, it'll build your credibility, it'll bring people to your website, and it will just work wonders for you. I'll speak to you soon.